Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
Welcome everybody to the Bronx Sports Jedi MMA Weekly with Wellington Turman.
Hey, salute to everyone. Salute to everyone joining us on the chat. Salute to everyone joining us on a podcast platform, whether it be iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcast platform. Thank you so much for joining us as we break down this somewhat eventful weekend of fighting and MMA. So I'm ready to get right into it.
Right, definitely. And before we do that, let's play Kevin's boxing report real quick, and then we'll break down what happened this past weekend. So here's that boxing report right now.
What is going on, everyone? This is BX Sports Jedi here in the MMA Weekly with Austin Chef Dan with the boxing report. This weekend, February 19th, we had some boxing across the pond in England. Amir Khan versus Brooks, a 20-year fight in the making. The animosity back and forth. It finally happened Saturday night, and what a great fight there. A lot to talk about in that 149 catch weight. Well, I have a little bit of the highlights here. Let's get with the hot fight. All situation was said that Amir Khan is going to hang it up. That's it. You know, he's done. He officially announced his retirement. He's confirmed he has retired from boxing, and it's not because of the sun in England is very brutal. They wrote that relentless beating by Kelly Brooks in Manchester, but he just said it was enough. Amir Khan has done a lot in the sport of boxing, and he could still fight. He could still want to. Maybe he says he's going to retire for the moment, and let's see if he regroups. I know he had Buzz Crawford with him in his corner there. He went and they trained in Colorado, and he just didn't have. It's also Brooks really wanted Amir Khan really bad. They just disliked them, and that was just a war. It was a good fight, but if someone was going to take that out, and Brooks just wanted it more. He fueled his dislike for Khan, really fueled him, and it showed with all the counter punching, and he cut the ring and so forth. So salute to Kell Brooks. That's how you go out and you beat a rival. You did a lot of talking, but you also backed it up with your fists. So what's next for Kell Brooks? There's talking about we know Khan is retiring. There's talking about an eyes for Chris Eubanks. That's the next war. That's will be for details to see if Top Rank Boxing could come up and bring Chris Eubanks both in negotiating tables the money wise, what location, what venue. That'll be interesting to see Chris Eubanks versus Kell Brooks. Other fights on the card. I only saw three out of the fights there. I saw the Frazier Clark. He beat Jake Darrell. It was a first round TKO. Totally punished him. Really impressive. I was impressed with Frazier Clark. Just the way he just countered, and he just had some solid. He just unloaded. He just was like a bat out of hell. Phenomenal. And we had the ladies fight. We had Natasha Jonas beat Chris Numas. She's from Uruguay, and it was via second round knockout. It could have went, if this was a 3-round fight, I think it would have ended in the first round. I saw her corner. Her corner had the towel in the hand, ready to throw it in. That smart move of a corner. You know, you don't want to have your fighter take unnecessary punches, unnecessary punishment. She was a defeated fighter there from the very beginning. She that straight overhand and the jab. The first knockdown was the straight jab, knocked her down, and that straight overhand, it was going to land all night, and it was just going to bring damages. She just could not take Jonas's punches at 154 pounds. It'll be interesting to see who she wants to fight next. She's eyeing the winner of the Serrano-Taylor fight in Madison Square Garden in the springtime, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Will Taylor would go back up to 154, or right now Serrano's fighting out around 130, 129 pounds. I don't know if she want to go up that high of weight to go fight her. We'll see. They'll be, even though the women, Clarissa Shields always is out there, we'll see. We'll see with the women's fight. All in all, that's my report on the boxing. I just wanted to give you a quick brush up of what happened over the weekend across the pond. We'll definitely get some more fights available once it comes up. We'll give you the report here. But guys, I'm going to send it back to Chef Dan in Austin on the MMA Weekly with Chef Dan in Austin. I am 3X Sports Jedi Kev. I thank you guys. Remember, hit that like, subscribe, and share, and follow us, and we appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time here.
Well, that was your boxing report from Kevin. And Dan, is anything else you want to add to that before we talk about what happened with MMA this past weekend?
Just additional note I wanted to add in was about Natasha Jonas and how dominant she was in her victory. Really good looking fight. She has a lot of power in her hands, and I'm interested to see her. The last opponent she lost to is now about to face Amanda Serrano, and Serrano is right now trying to dominate and take as much belts as she can. So the next possible fighter, if Serrano gets through this next fight, she's gonna have Natasha Jonas waiting for her. I'd love to see that fight, so I'm very interested in that.
Okay, and I guess we can move on to MMA now. And Dan, you want to start with Bellator or UFC?
Actually, I want to kick things all the way off with Eagle FC that happened on Friday. In the US, it happened at 10 a.m. I could just go through the three fight card that happened. Essentially, most of the fights on the card were the preliminaries. The 3 fights on the main card were very good fights. You had Uzier Abduzakov. He defeated Kayal Iskandarov via Americana submission. This guy Uzier Abduzakov, he's one of those, man. He's one of those, and when I say one of those, I mean like one of these guys that if he did this same thing on a UFC preliminary card, we'd be calling for him to fight another fight as well. This guy, I want you guys to keep a lookout for him, because this guy, his athleticism was on display. He was doing tornado kicks that he knew was gonna miss, but he just wanted to do it for the heck of it. He got his opponent down on the ground, got him into a crucifix position, got that arm, cranked it back. Americana ended him. It's really ended him. A vicious submission. So I want to give a shout out to him. The next fight, Denis Ismandenov versus Mikhail Doroshenko. This one was, I have to keep it real with you, ladies and gentlemen. This one was a snooze fest. This one was really a wrestling exhibition, and both of these guys, funny enough, it wasn't like they were trying to get a lot of grappling, a lot of submissions done to each other. It was more so positioning to try and get heavy strikes off. And both of these guys, they just missed a lot of their strikes. They were tired out. And at the end of the day, it was who won the point battle. The only thing I could say here really is that Doroshenko took the second round clearly, but Ishmandov really he took the first and third off of points, so that one wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. And this last fight, it was for the Eagle FC Featherweight Championship. It was Rasul Magomedov versus I don't know how to. I'm gonna butcher this guy's first name. Abdurrahman Gatino Vasov. Rasul Magomedov, he won the fight. I think the reason why he won this fight was really just because Gatino Vasov, he prepared for a 3-round fight. Magomedov prepared for a 5-round fight. I know these two guys, they know each other. They've been sparring partners before, really good friends. So the first round started off with is a feel-out method. It was kind of no action there. The second round, it kind of started to pick up, and Gatino Vasov took over that round with some grappling. Third through fifth round, I'd have to give it to Magomedov because he picked up the pace with his striking. He realized he couldn't wrestle with Gatino Vasov, so he got a lot of his striking done in the third to fifth round. And the fight was decided via a split decision. They gave it to Magomedov, but I thought to me Magomedov handedly took this fight. He just had more of the gas tank for the third through fifth round, and if anything, maybe this goes to a rematch where both of these guys are more prepared, so they can kind of go off and tee off on one another. But these two fights were really, really good, and all in all, I think Eagle FC put on an okay event. It wasn't the fireworks that was the last event with Sprong versus Karatanov, but this event it was still okay.
All right, gotcha. And that happened Friday in Moscow, right?
Yes, Friday in Moscow. It aired at 10 a.m. in the United States.
Okay, and that's the recap for UFC. And I guess we can start with what happened this past UFC. We'll start there then.
Most definitely. We can get right into this. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I guess we can start from the main event if you want to, and then work down the main card.
I mean, yeah, let's do it because the main event ended very quickly. This one was, it ended very, very quickly. This was Jamahal Hill versus Johnny Walker. It ended in the first round via TKO. Jamahal Hill, my God, oh my God, I don't have much words to say for what he did to Johnny Walker. He made Johnny Walker lose all bodily function, ladies and gentlemen. Hits him and you see it. His body just loses all function. And Jamahal Hill, he ends it at oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This was vicious. Austin, take it away, man. I don't have anything else to say, but oh my God.
Early knockout year contender, early obviously, but yeah, that's what that was. But Jamahal Hill, I got him a lot of credit for laying the right punch at the tempo. It was at the tempo of Walker, and once he landed there, Walker's, he was out on his feet. He was out, and then his body just lost function at the mic like this, and then just fell. I mean, it was like I was stunned. I was like, oh my, damn, yeah, he's out. And Walker was, was active too in the few minutes the fight took place. Throwing some kicks and trying to, trying to establish himself. But Jamahal Hill, I mean, he Sweet Dreams is his nickname, and he definitely his goal is to put people to sleep. He put Walker to sleep. Impressive victory for Jamahal Hill.
I finally have more thoughts other than oh my God. But then they got lost again. Oh my God. The way he hit Johnny Walker, man. The way he hit him. Ladies and gentlemen, they were doing edits on Twitter where they added Looney Tunes soundtracks to the hit, and his body. And yeah, you see it. He just sunk in and he's lost all bodily function. The only thing I could say is he lost all bodily function because, my God, vicious KO. Jamahal Hill, man, salute to you. He didn't take much, if any, damage at all out of this fight, and he's ready to, like how Bobby Green is ready to jump into this next fight. Jamahal Hill, I'm ready to see him in another fight.
Yeah, definitely to me top 10 by Tuesday. So great victory for Jamahal Hill. Sets himself up to fight other top 10 contenders in the light heavyweight division. And there's something we're going to show real quick.
Guys, I'm okay. Just a little cut here. I sleep in the fight, so something happened wrong. But well,
Play that one more time. Give me weight.
guys.
Wait, is that music part? I have no idea if that music was part of it. It was actually
That
Johnny
was
Walker
probably
clip.
part of his. Yeah, that was probably part of it. He's, showing us that he's okay. That he probably, he's drinking some alcohol. He wants to blame it on that he drank last night. I don't know. He's having maybe he's having the Paulo Costa excuse.
I don't know. I'm not gonna comment.
Yeah, that boy got clocked clean. I don't know what there was nothing else for him to talk about other than he got clocked clean. Let us know you're okay, because that's what we want to know at the end of the day. Let us know you're okay. But my Lord, he wants to blame it on the proper 12. I don't think the proper 12 did anything that made him. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I gotta say to that, man.
Say that was not an edit, because that is, and that's kind of, now we're starting fake rumors, and that's gonna backfire us tremendously.
I don't know. I mean, he put it out there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think an edit. The music seemed too loud for it to be himself. That's all I'll say.
Okay. At the end of the day, man, I will say this. He is coherent in that camera. He acknowledged that he got hurt. He pointed to the bottle right after that, and he allowed for the people were around him. He had a chance to not put it out there in social media and let the world think of what it makes, because he's in the business long enough to know that when you put something out there in social media, they're gonna run with it. And he's left himself susceptible to that.
Yeah. But yeah, great victory for Jamahal Hill. Definitely see him fight next. 2 back-to-back impressive knockout victories after his elbow getting broken or torn. No, torn, my bad. And last June against Paul Craig. So really impressive what Jamahal Hill's done less than a year after that fight. So shout out to him. I guess we can move on to the co.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
No, we can move on to the co-main event, because Jamahal Hill calls out whoever he wants. They're gonna update the rating, so update the ranking, so maybe we could know who does what. I mean, brother, Jamahal Hill calls out who he wants and he gets who he wants, because for a knockout like that on fight night main event, that's the last impression you left of us after you've knocked out
Jimmy Crute.
He knocked out Jimmy Crute after the loss to Paul Craig. Like, you get who you want. Not the champion, but you get who you want.
Yeah. See what gets next. That'd be interesting to see Jamahal Hill. Because we can go on to the co-main event, which was pretty remarkable, which is between Kyle Daukaus and Jimmy Pickett in the middleweight division. Kyle Daukaus wins via Darce choke with 1 second left in round 1.
Figures out. Oh, it was just in time. Oh my goodness. That was tight.
Yeah, with 1 second left, and we all thought originally that the bell might have rung before the tap. That it looked like it might have gone round 2. You know, the commentators didn't know. I didn't know. But Herb Dean saw it and he was able to stop it. You know, his eyes were definitely in the right position to recognize the tap before the bell. And Kyle Daukaus is a really I think it's his 9th submission, so another submission win for Daukaus. As he's a guy ranked coming up this middleweight rankings. I know he's not ranked yet, but he's getting closer now.
Oh yeah, getting a whole lot closer. This was a great victory for Kyle Daukaus. We saw what he could do as far as, like, we know that he's a submission specialist, but I think just really throughout that round, one thing that really impressed me is Kyle Dawkins, for a guy who knows his bread and butter is in the submission, he's not really afraid to stay in that pocket with the guy, with a type of guy like this. We saw that Jamie Pickett, he's a power striker. Jamie Pickett is a power striker. So Kyle Dawkins, he left himself vulnerable, but he knew that in order to get to where he needed to get to, you got to be in the pocket. So I can always appreciate a submission specialist who, they're not, either all space or a little bit of space. Those guys know they have to gamble a little bit in the pocket. They're willing to exchange some strikes. And all in all, they mix their martial arts. So this was a great fight for Kyle Dawkins.
It was, and very impressive victory. Especially how memorable it is. It's going to be one more memorable submissions of the year for UFC and for Dawkins' career.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. This hopefully propels him into ranking, and hopefully he can call someone out, and they'll heed his call out.
Yeah, and we'll see what's next for him. As him and his brother both were doing well in the UFC. His brother Chris Dawkins in the heavyweight division. So we'll see. The Dawkins brothers definitely making a name for himself and representing Philadelphia very well.
Oh yeah.
And next fight in this card was a heavyweight matchup between Parker Porter and Alan Badat in the heavyweight division. Badout. Sorry, French. Badout.
Yep.
And this fight was 29-20. All three judges' scorecards. Parker Porter wins the fight. Now this fight I didn't really watch too much. I really didn't pay attention, so I really couldn't tell you all the details of what happened in this fight. I know there were some moments where it was clinching, especially in the third round. But how did Parker Porter win this fight, Chef Dan? It
was mostly wrestling, and this was an uneventful fight. This was something where Parker Porter, I think he saw what Francis Ngannou did to Cyril Gane and said, you know what, they give you points for, wrestling too. So he just decided to stay on top of Alan Badout. He tried to get as much takedowns as possible. He did. I think he scored a lot of takedowns in this fight. But all in all, this was wrestling. This was all wrestling, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and he mentioned Zero Gone, friends in Ghana. I know Badout is his training partner is Zero Gone, or trained with Fernand Lopez. So ironic you brought that up.
Yeah. Like the way this fight, man. But you could see it with coming out of that gym. There's not a lot of wrestling being trained out of there, because Badout was only able to do something in the third round. He was only able to stop some of those takedowns and even score a takedown of his own in the third round. But prior to that, the first two rounds, Parker Porter knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he was executing for the most part. It's weird. These two heavyweights, it didn't seem like they had enough power to knock each other out. But so that's where they decided to go to, was point fighting.
Right, and Parker got the point find there, it seemed like. Okay, I guess we can move on to
this fight wasn't I want to move on to the next fight, because this fight really wasn't all that. Like I said, for a heavyweight fight, for these two guys to be point fighting, it fell way far. I could go right into this next fight. This fight right here, really, really good. Jim Miller versus Nicholas Moto. This ended in the second round. In what division is this? I believe
lightweight.
This is lightweight. Jim Miller, man, he was aggressive all throughout this fight. Very, very aggressive. Always in Nicholas Moto's face. Jim Miller, man, he's very surprisingly good to me, man. This guy is really, really good. And I just need to see more of him, because this was super aggressive. Super aggressive, man. Look at that. Super aggressive. He gets his guy to the ground, man. You see his arm bent back because to a point where he can't defend himself, and Miller jumps on him, and he was like a rabid dog, man. Jim Miller was really, really, really good this fight, and I think he deserved a bonus for this fight. What about what say you, Austin?
He did deserve it. He deserved that performance. And Jim Miller's been fighting since 2005, I believe, in MMA. I know UFC joined 2007, so he's been around for a while. He's 38 years old, if I'm mistaken. So he's near the end of his career. He's close to his end than he is to his beginning. That's what I meant to say. And it seemed like Jim Miller was always a step ahead of Nicholas Moto. It seemed like, especially his leg kicks. I mean, he throws, he landed his punches and then throw leg kicks as well, throwing different types of strikes to really mess with Nicholas Moto. And once he hit that right, that dropped him. I mean, it was like out of nowhere. I won't say out of nowhere, but it was like, oh. And essentially the way Moto fell, his arm backward, arm behind his back, and then he got up but couldn't defend himself. I mean, Jim, you see right here, a right hook that drops Moto, and then just does ground and pound. Some say the ref could have stopped it a little bit earlier, but I get the ref was trying to give Moto, enough time to defend himself and get out, but he just couldn't. I mean, he was, ducking, he was covering up, but some of the punches were landing, and once they land, it's basically game over. You're done, especially on the bottom, you ground and pound. But yeah, but
no, I was saying that's the recipe for the finish right there. Ground and pound with a little to no defense. That's how you get that finish.
Yeah, and great victory for Jim Miller, especially like I said, older guy. The commentators mentioned that he was considering retiring after UFC 200, which was over 5 years ago. Just can't believe it's been that long since that event. But yeah, I mean, to see he's still going, still fighting, still doing, still winning fights against younger guys. Considering Nicholas Moto was a Dana White Contender Series winner, so and he had a young prospect from Brazil. So I mean, very great victory for Jim Miller. Shout out to him.
Most definitely, that was a great fight for Jim Miller. I'm looking forward to see what he does next. I'm really looking forward to that. But as much as that was a great fight, man, this to me had to have been fight of the night. This next fight, it was the first fight on the main card. Joaquin Buckley versus Abdul Razak Al-Assan. Joaquin Buckley wins this fight via split decision. This was the best fight Joaquin Buckley has ever fought to me. Not like, and he's fought, flashier fights where he's gotten a flashier KO. But fundamentally, this might have been the best fight Joaquin Buckley ever fought. He wasn't overextending himself on his shots. We've known Joaquin Buckley to kind of sometimes overextend himself. We saw it in the Antonio Hoyo fight when he couldn't gauge the distance well with Hoyo, especially in that first and that second round. He was really overextending himself. Joaquin Buckley let Abdul Al-Assan load up on all his strikes. Joaquin Buckley rarely, loaded up on his strikes. If anything, I could say he loaded up in the third round when Abdul started catching him with some strikes right there, and I think along the cage in the third round where Abdul caught Joaquin Buckley with a good left hook. Joaquin was phased a little and he started to overload on that the right hand, but he rarely did that for the first two rounds and parts of the third round. He's mixing in the martial arts between wrestling and striking. The clinching was beautiful. These guys now were getting smarter and smarter. If the hand is on the canvas, you're not gonna knee. But as soon as he lifted that hand, he goes for some knees, man. His wrestling was very, very good. It was just an all in all. I think it was the most complete fight for Joaquin Buckley. If there's anything I want to critique, is that third round where Abdul started to figure him out and started to see where he could kind of get his going. I thought what Joaquin should have done was maybe give him a different look, so now he's a little more tentative in that third round. But at this, all in all, I think this was fundamentally the best fight for Joaquin Buckley.
this was a different Joaquin Buckley, like you mentioned. A lot more tactical, got good head movements, able to dodge some of Al-Assan's punches because he was lowing up and, he was throwing them with bad intentions, as they say. And this was a very close fight, though, despite that, because it's split decision. And some people think Al-Assan probably should have got the victory. I mean, this was, like I said, it was super close. I mean, round 2 with Cleve Buckley's round, and round 3, Al-Assan was able to get a takedown, basically, like, do some work on top. But round 1, I thought it was close, but I can see both sides. I thought Buckley didn't. You seem like you disagree with the people's opinion about this fight.
Yeah, I don't think it was as close as people thought it was, man. Like, I was okay with it going to split decision, but at the same time, it's like really rewatching it. I had to rewatch it this morning. I think Buckley took the first 2 rounds clearly. Al-Assan took the 3rd round clearly. At that point, you're scoring 2 rounds to 1.
Right. The first round was close, though. It seemed like, he did hit Buckley several times, but I mean, Buckley was active, and I think he got a takedown right in the first round, right, Buckley?
Yes, he got it. Yeah, he scored a takedown in the first round, and I think he scored one in the second round.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I had no problem with the decision. I think Buckley did enough to win, because he was a little bit more active. But whenever Al-Assan landed it, it definitely affected Buckley. But if Al-Assan was a little bit more active, he probably could have clearly taken that round and probably won the fight there. But good victory. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. That's the problem with that second round there. Just Al-Assan he's not active enough, and on the punches he is throwing, he missed bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, right now we're just a little technical difficulties. Austin's gonna come back, but Joaquin Buckley with a great fight on against Abdul Razak Al-Assan, and that was the main card for the UFC. If there's any fights that I wanna if there's any fights I would love to highlight right now, it'd be one of those in the. Oh, you're back?
Yeah, I'm back.
And Jedi is letting us know that he had the Detroit self-defense guy, Dale Brown, in his corner. I remember that. He came up and let Dale Brown, join him in the post-fight interview. And so Dale Brown, he's letting you know ways to protect yourself.
Yeah. I got it. I already mentioned post-fight. He felt like he wasn't getting enough press or attention, so he decided to make attention of his own by bringing him to his corner.
Oh yeah, that was a good strategy. That was a really good strategy. But all in all, man, this card was it was an okay UFC fight card. Not the most exciting. There were some finishes that were to be excited about, some potential fighters. But all in all, this was an okay UFC card. What say you, Austin?
It was good. It was a solid UFC fight card. Like I said, there were some good moments at the co-main event, main event definitely were very excellent. I mean, this last second submission, before the first round by not Pickett, excuse me, Kyle Dawkins on Pickett, and of course the Jamahal Hill knockouts on Johnny Walker. I mean, jeez, early contender for knockout of the year. I mean, wow. And also Jim Lewis' performance was pretty remarkable too. What he did to Nicholas Moto and just dropped him the way he did and just finished him. I mean, that was pretty good. But yeah, decent fight night, and especially the main card UFC.
Oh yeah, just want to ask, did you see any of the preliminaries to where you want to shout anyone out, or?
I did not. But
okay, so then there is two fighters on the preliminaries I need to shout out because those guys were really, really good. First one, David Onama. He defeats Gabriel Benitez via standing TKO from punches. David Onama, my God, he goes on a roll and just finishes Gabriel Benitez. Oh my God, this was vicious. You see Benitez, he might have had to get taken out in a stretcher because that was so vicious. So vicious, man. David Onama, I'm looking out for you, brother. I'm waiting to see your next fight. I had to add him on Twitter, all that. The other fight, to me, man, this was Chaz Skelly versus Mark Striegel in the preliminaries. Chaz Skelly, I believe he said he was going to retire after this fight. I pray to God he doesn't. I pray to God he doesn't. Chaz Skelly, so vicious, man. He started off the fight saying, hey, I have no problem being vicious, and ended the fight with some more viciousness. That, like, he had a non-conventional style of fighting, but everything was power, and he threw with bad intentions. All bad intentions. So salute to him, man. Chaz Skelly, I pray this isn't his last fight in the UFC.
He said it is his retirement fight, but sometimes with fighters, well, a lot of times with fighters, rather, they come back. We know it's too many times in boxing and MMA. They retire and they come back, so we'll see. I mean, it seems like he's serious, but still.
I pray he isn't, but if he is, salute to him and a job well done. But my God, you're leaving so much in the gas tank.
Yeah, I mean,
but then again, for me to say he's leaving so much in the gas tank, I don't know that. I don't have, I'm not in his body, so I don't know the trials and tribulations he takes just to get to fight night. So I'll dampen the comment by saying that. But what I can say all in all is Chaz Skelly, man, if he chooses to return to the ring, you've got a fan in me.
Yeah. Great performance. Hey, what way to retire, but it is his retirement fight. Couldn't go better. Yeah. How many guys go out like that in their retirement fight? Usually they're in their back or choked out, being defeated. Mm-hmm. All combat sports, no matter how great you are.
I mean, but with that being said, that was the end of the UFC fight card, man. Really good fights. Some of them were, I'm not even gonna lie, some of them were snooze fest. That's an inside joke between me, Austin, and the Jedi. Some of them were snooze fest. I'll say that much. But other than that, all in all, man, this was a okay card. I want to jump right into the Bellator card that happened at the same time. This was Bellator 274. Neiman Gracie versus Logan Storm Storley. That was the main card. That was the main fight of the main card. That fight ended in a unanimous decision. Logan Storley won this fight unanimous against Neiman Gracie, and I had no problems with this being a unanimous decision. It felt that only in moments that Neiman Gracie had something for Logan Storley, but all in all, Logan Storley, he kept the fight off the ground. And even when the fight did devolve into the ground, I think Logan Storley had more than enough defense to get himself back up. On the feet, Neiman Gracie did not have much for Logan Storley that night. Logan Storley just, tapped him up. Tap, 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 tap. Punching up Neiman Gracie. Touched him whenever he wanted to. And it was a dominant performance for Logan Storley. Any thoughts from you, Austin?
Yeah, I agree. It was a dominant performance by Logan Storley. Logan Storley seemed to be one step ahead of him in the striking department. I mean, Neiman has moments with jab, where he did land a good amount against Logan Storley, but Logan seemed like the better striker of the two. Landing more combinations, etc. Pushing Neiman back, and especially in the fight and touching him up. And the first 3 rounds, it was like that a lot, especially the first 3 rounds. And I think some of the fans, they felt was a little bit, not enough action. That fourth round was pretty good. I mean, Neiman hits him with a left hook that hurts Logan Storley. And then it looked like Logan was in trouble, big trouble. But then Logan responds and hits I forgot what he hit him with. It might have been a right hook or something, or right hook or right. It was something with right. I know that.
It was a right, yeah.
That hurt Neiman, and then Neiman, fell down, and Logan was smart enough not to go in Neiman's guard, because he is a Gracie after all, and jiu-jitsu is like, they're born jiu-jitsu practitioners, Gracies, and Logan hurt him again in the 4th round, and in the 5th round they both were both guys were trading shots somewhat, not like Rock up Sock'em, but like there were moments when Neiman had was landed and hurt or stunned rather Logan stunned Neiman, but Logan won that round. Although at the end, Neiman was like not really engaged in the final 15 seconds and putting his hands up like this, kind of got the crowd booing him because he was losing and probably should at least engage, and people don't want to see that, especially when you're not winning the fight. But yeah, Logan Storley, great victory for him. Good victory, especially considering this is 2 top 5 guys in the Bellator welterweight division. In our rankings, I know Yarmsov Ansarov's having to defend his title against the MVP in May in London, and I know Amstrov and Logan Storley did fight and fought back in 2020, which I remember watching. It was a pretty entertaining fight. I mean, really entertaining, back and forth. It was everything: striking, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. And I like to see him fight again. Wouldn't mind it, but I'm pretty sure Jason Jackson probably should fight the winner of the MVP and Amstrov fights. And to me, I feel like the fight I want to see Logan Storley fight next is the winner of the co-main event, which I guess we can transition. I guess since we already mentioned him.
Let's transition right into it, brother.
Yeah, it was 34 seconds. I mean, Chance Rinkator basically was trying to get in clinch with Koreshkov, and then Koreshkov hit him with a spinning back kick to the rib area. I thought it was spleen, but it's the rib area, and Chance just went down, and it was just over from there. Couldn't defend himself. Right here, spinning back kick, right there, the ribs. And ground and pound, and that's it.
And Chance ended up with 5 broken ribs, a punctured lung that was half full of blood, and a bruised kidney.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, and I think I have the picture right here. I think his right leg may have been compromised during the fight or before the fight. Who knows? But he's got some bandaging on his leg as well. So, yeah.
I mean, that's highlight reel right there. What Koreshkov did to Chance Rinkator. That was highlight reel right there. I mentioned Jamahal Hill being knockout of the year for UFC, but for Bellator, that's definitely early contender for knockout of the year right there. Well, it's not a knockout. Never mind. It's not exactly a knockout, but still, I mean that's highlight reel stuff.
I mean, you tell me, man. If you can, you may not have to put someone. He's out of commission, brother. That's point blank. Period. I don't know what else to say. He put him out of commission. Knock down, knockout, whatever you want to. He put him out of commission viciously. That's the only thing. Yeah. So it works.
It does. And Koreshkov's always been a talented striker in the welterweight division, and he was ranked number 9 coming to this fight, and I believe it's his 3rd victory in a row. That's why I say I think the appropriate fight for Logan Storley is and Koreshkov from to fight each other, because Koreshkov definitely moved up the rankings after this fight. He probably should have been ranked a little higher considering he's a former welterweight champion, but anyway, and plus he had won 2 in a row. But still, I mean, those two fighting each other, that could be a title eliminator if after the winner of MVP and Amstrov, and then Jackson fights the winner of that fight. I mean, I wouldn't mind that personally. It was a good test for both guys to see Logan Storley's great wrestling going against a great striker and former champion Koreshkov.
Especially after coming off of a fight against Neiman Gracie, I'd just be interested to see how he comes out from that one training camp where you were, trying to defend the wrestling to possibly another training camp where you may, you're trying to initiate the wrestling. Who knows? Be very interesting.
Right, and he is a great wrestler, Logan Storley. He was from All-American University of Minnesota. Ironically enough, I mentioned this earlier, he's from the same hometown as Brock Lesnar, went to the same high school, I believe, and went to the same university as Brock Lesnar. This is an All-American like Lesnar, so I always like to point that out because it's very, very unique and weird like situation. similarities between him and Brock Lesnar in terms of that. Hasn't made WWE, hasn't gone to wrestling yet, but still.
Yeah, the future could be out there for him.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
So then if you want to end this off right here, we can get right into the next fight. You're gonna have to tell me about this fight between Adam Piccolotti and Georgi Karkanyan, because this, I'm not even gonna lie, this one didn't grab my attention as much in the middle of the fight.
It did. It wasn't exactly the most entertaining fight. I know the crowd was not into this at all. Like, there were moments in the fight where Piccolotti was picking him apart and like basically, it seemed like Piccolotti was a step ahead of him at times. In some of the fight, especially with the second round, I believe, or third round. I can't remember which round it was.
It might have been the second round. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I tried to pay attention to this one, but I was phasing in and out between that, the UFC event, and the All-Star weekend.
Oh, that's right. It was All-Star weekend. Yeah, yesterday. But it seemed like Piccolotti had his moments, and I feel like Piccolotti, was able to mix in his mix the martial arts, as you like to say, in this fight. But it wasn't exactly the most entertaining fight. I mean, granted, again, Georgie is a veteran, but I feel like Piccolotti could have maybe done a little more. Maybe could have gotten out there potentially, maybe. But Piccolotti, won the fight, and definitely was he won the fight. It was the right good decision, basically. I know one judge had all 3 rounds, and 2 other judges gave 1 round to Georgi Karkanyan. Yeah. But overall, good win for Piccolotti. I know this. I just remember. I think this is his first fight in over a year and a half. So maybe he was a little bit rusty, to be fair. So maybe next fight he could be a lot better, considering it's been a while since he fought.
Okay, all right. So then, it's just like you said. Hopefully, after a year off, you could try and get back in there sooner than later and get some more activity going. Get yourself going, get the wheels spinning, get the gears greased. As we move on to this next fight, Brendan Ward versus Brandon Bell. This ended in the second round via TKO. I don't remember this fight all too well.
I do. I'll tell you what happened.
Let me know.
Yeah, this was basically a one. Brendan Ward, I didn't realize this was his first fight in 4.5 years, and part of that was because he was an addict. I don't remember who he was addicted to, but I remember they were telling the story before the fight, Bellator, that he was a guy who was doing well in Bellator, but then had his addiction issues. Like I said, I forget what he was addicted to, but stepped away from MMA for a while. And this was his return fight in like 4.5 years in Connecticut, where he's from. I forget what part of Connecticut he's from, but I know this event was in Connecticut, so he's finding his hometown, home states. A lot of support from the fans, and basically he called with a straight right, and that rocked Brendan Bell. And Brendan Bell tried for a clinch, but didn't work. And Brendan Ward just beat him up badly. I mean, this is the second round, but in the first round he ground and pounded him. Stretched him out, even was on top of him while Bell was laying on his stomach, and just beat him up to the point where it looked like the fight was gonna be over in the first round. But give credit to Bell for showing his toughness to be able to, not get finished and get out there. But damage had been done. Brendan Ward was able to finish him in the second round, just drop him and just, TKO him, strikes on the ground as he was covering up, not defending himself. And this was, he couldn't ask for a better return fight. 4 years off, coming from addiction, and you go out there and finish your opponent in the second round. I mean, this was definitely a great comeback from your not hometown, but home state fans. Connecticut's not that big of a state, but still, I mean, a lot of people supporting him, being the local guy.
Most definitely. So, oh crap, sorry.
No, it's good.
I have my window open. I thought a bird might have flew in. But we can move on from that fight, go right into the first fight on the main card. This was Davion Franklin versus Saeed Soma. This ended in a split decision. Davion Franklin won this fight. You gotta tell. Yeah, I was still distracted with the UFC with this fight, so you gotta tell me what you saw from this fight, and do you agree that it was a split decision?
No, this fight, this is the only main card fight Bellator I didn't really see. Was this one? I was having TV problems like when I was trying to watch it. You know, that's why I missed most of the this fight, so I couldn't really comment on. I only saw like the end, the post-fight interview with Franklin, where he won the fight. So I didn't get to see like how the fight played out. You know who should have won. So I can't really comment.
Okay, so then we could just end it off right there of calling that card. There's something I do want to point out though. I was watching the boxing card while the Bellator prelims was going on, and there was an interesting fight in the preliminaries. Nick Brown versus Mandel Nalo. Mandel Nalo's nickname, well, his fighter's name is Rat Garbage, because he thinks that a hungry dog isn't more vicious than a rat in garbage, because if the rat's already eating garbage, they can't get the good food anyways. Vicious name, not so vicious results, as he got finished by Nick Brown, TKO punches. This was a Rat Garbage, tough fight, because he was athletically he's really good. He just kind of believes in his athleticism too much, and Nick Brown was just being fundamental. He was more fundamentally sound than Rat Garbage. He kept catching him with shots left and right, popping him up, having his head pop back, and you see it. The rat tail is popping back for Rat Garbage, and we could see it. And so Nick Brown finally catches him in that second round and ends it off. But all in all, that was a great fight by Nick Brown.
Yeah, that was like a great ground and pound by Nick Brown. And Rat Garbage, I mean, not a great nickname. I mean, it's one of the bad nicknames in MMA currently with Pooty Bear, Brian Battle, yeah, his nickname, and some other bad nicknames. And yeah, it's not a great one. Hopefully, get bounced back. Mandel Nalo.
Hopefully, Rat Garbage fights back. Another good fight we saw on the preliminaries: Bobby King versus Aviv Ghazali. Bobby King wins this the first round after Aviv has to he forfeits the rest of the rounds. I think he may have he had to forfeit the rest of the rounds after Bobby King landed a vicious ground and pound on him. And they that ended the first round. Bobby King potentially could have gotten a finish right there in the first round. As you see, what is his name again? Give me one moment. Sorry.
Aviv.
As you see Aviv get up, he gets to his corner, and he is not right, ladies and gentlemen. The legs are wobbling. This spaghetti at this point. The legs are noodle. The corner sits him down. They even let him get back up, and as he's trying to get back up and get ready for the next round, the legs are still noodled. The referee is like, no, I gotta bring the doctor in here. You gotta talk to the doctor. We gotta see what's going on with you. He has a discussion with the doctor. I think he's trying to tell the doctor he can go, but the doctor's asking him questions, and he's not really responsive to some of the questions that the doctor's asking. So at that point, the doctor just says, that's enough. I'm calling off the fight. You can't continue anymore. And man, Bobby King, the real King, Bobby King, vicious way to end that fight, because I know the guy wanted to, but he couldn't finish of his own volition. When you can't finish of your own volition like that, that opponent put on a heavy type of beating. So salute to Bobby King, man. Most of his fights never see the end of the first round, and I saw why with that fight right there.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty. Damn. I mean, when you beat up someone, you get doctor stoppage. I mean, that's doesn't happen often. When you do, you put a beat down on your opponents, and that's definitely worth tipping your hat to Bobby King for that.
Austin, I'm telling you, man. If you saw this guy Aviv, they go to. And part of me wanted to mention, I don't know why, maybe his corner was being a bit irresponsible there. You see, he has no legs. The man is holding on to the cage and trying to, beat, like that's his support system. If we didn't if the referee wasn't any better and just rang the bell, I don't think he would have met Bobby King in the middle of the ring, man. He would have backed up to the cage, and he would have had the cage be his support system, and he would have tried to, But at that point, if the only thing you can do is support yourself, then not take as much punishment as you'd like, then you're fighting a losing fight at that point.
Yeah, you are. You very much are.
So I mean, yeah, that was the most impressive fight on the preliminaries to me.
Gotcha. Is there anything else you want to mention before we break down? We talk about these upcoming MMA events.
I want to shout out Deanna Bennett. It seems like she's on a winning streak currently. In the preliminary, she defeated Justine Kish. It was a unanimous decision. Just want to shout her out. The women's MMA never gets enough love, so we got to shout them out. Deanna Bennett, she's on a nice roll now, so salute to her.
Good for her, considering she was on I think we mentioned her before her last fight, 7-8 fight, not losing streak, but where she hadn't won a fight in 7-8 fights. She had one draw, and crazy considering she started her career very well and beat some known women too early in her career that are in the UFC doing well. So it was but she got back-to-back victories against Alejandra Lara and now Justine Kish, who was in the UFC just not that long ago and lost, I think, a split decision. Which I'm kind of surprised this was on the prelims. I thought it'd be maybe main card, considering these are, Kish is, these are two names that if you're a MMA fan you may recognize. I'm kind of surprised this was on the pre.
I mean, Bellator, I think right now they're slowly but surely. It's the beginning of the year. The card creators, they still got to get some things right. I think that's really what it is for them. They have to find some way to get some things right. If they can do that, then the more of these cards will be built better. But we saw that the UFC kind of put up a dud with the Sean Strickland card. We see that the Bellator here, they kind of put up a dud here with this Neiman Gracie Storley card as well. So we're gonna
I wouldn't call it so much a dud. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but there were some moments like the Koreshkov knockout and yes, Brendan Ward weren't too bad. I see what you mean. You know what? I see what you mean.
This isn't one of those memorable cards, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I could maybe remember someone getting knocked out earlier in the year, but I couldn't say Bellator 274. I remember where he got that done, or UFC Fight Night. Nah.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess we can move on. I do want to quickly talk about the main event, the next Bellator card, which is Bellator 275 in Dublin, Ireland. Which in the middleweight title is on the line between champion Gegard Mousasi against the undefeated American Austin Vanderford, fighting American top team. And Vanderford is 11-0, if I'm mistaken. I know he's undefeated, and he trained and he's going against Gegard Mousasi, who's a legend in MMA, who I like to call the most underrated fighter in MMA history because people, if you know, because people don't talk, when we talk about great fighters, Gegard never talked about. He deserves to. I mean, his resume is better than a lot of fighters, including a lot of fighters from who people put up there in their top 10, even some top 5. I'm just saying, look at Gegard's resume. Look at the guys he beat. You see what I mean by that. He's still 36. I mean, he's been fighting since 2004 or 3. I know he was fighting Pride back in 2006, but that shows how long he's been fighting. And he's still, beating guys up to win, fighting for championships, defend championships. But he's gonna have a tough task going against Austin Vanderford, who's a great American wrestler. Like I said, undefeated, trains the American top team, and
he started in 2003.
2003. Wow, so that's longer than I expected. Geez, that's long. And for a guy who has 50+ fights, Gegard doesn't look like he's been beat up. Like he hasn't taken much damage in his fights. He's been finished, but not taking a lot of damage though.
Yeah, if anything, he seems like a guy. What's the way to say? He looks so young for his age. He competes so young for his age, but he has that he moves like a veteran. You know who I liken it to?
Who?
You could liken it to Max Holloway. for as young as Max Holloway is, the amount of activity he's had in the ring, the names that he's shared the octagon with, it's crazy. And a lot of people would think that Max Holloway is nearing the end of his retirement. Like he's still in his prime.
No, Holloway's like 30, like 31.
Still in his prime.
Yeah, and it's in Gegard. Gegard's, well, he's not 30, 31. He's like 36, 37. But yeah, he still looks like a young fighter. You would thought he's like 28 or something the way he fights. It was interesting to see how he deals with the wrestling of Austin Vandervoort, because Vandervoort is a pretty good wrestler, and I know Gegard has fought wrestlers before, but it's interesting to see if Vandervoort is able to take him down and like control him. If Gegard has been well known to have good takedown defense, and he has gone up from, he has done well getting up from bad positions, but we've seen fights where if someone's able to hold him down, he's, he has a hard time fighting off his back, well, like a lot of fighters do. And Vandervoort, like I said, I'm trying to remember he got 3. Vandervoort wins, but he has 6 finishes, 3 KOs, TKOs, 3 submissions, so 5 decisions. So it seems like more likely going to be a decision if Vandervoort is to win the fight. But I'd like to see if Vandervoort can have good striking. Because Gegard is a pretty great striker. He probably has the best jab in MMA. If you ever watch his jab in all his fights, his jab is considered by a lot of people the best in all of MMA. He knows how to utilize it better than most fighters. So it'll be interesting to see if Vandervoort's stand-up how much he's improving his stand-up, considering he is coming off a wrist injury.
I agree with you there, except to the point where you said if Vandervoort wins it, 9 times out of 10 it's going to decision. I wouldn't trust it, man. If you're in a championship fight, the last thing I would want to do is leave it to the judges.
I could see it, but I think Vandervoort, like his recent fights, have all been decision fights, victories. His last 3 or 4, and if he does enough, dominates or really, does more in Gegard, I think he can win a fight. I understand what you mean by champion, judges and championships, but I think MMA, if you do enough, you can definitely win the fight decision.
We'll see. I gotta agree to disagree right there. I think the champion always holds an edge, but we'll definitely see, and I'll be more than ready to eat my words if you're right, Austin. You know that.
Right, yeah, and I'm excited to see Gegard Mousasi fight. I like Gegard, and seeing him go against someone like Austin Vandervoort, 11-0, who's people know him as Paige Van Zet's husband, so it'll be interesting. So, and plus, he's an 11-0 fighter and does well. Another great fighter coming out of American Top Team. Seems like there's always a slew of guys from American Top Team. Doesn't matter what organization, what division. Someone there is in the top 10 of some weight class in UFC or Bellator or even PFL. Most
definitely. Is there any other fight on the card that you're more so that you're really interested in? You got to let me know. I see a fighter here that I want to watch her fight, because last fight she lost, it was against Chris Cyborg, who I think she didn't lose. Like Chris Cyborg, I think hasn't lost a step. She just lost to Amanda Nunes. And yeah, I think the UFC was just going to be stuck between those two. In that division, they were going to be stuck. So I'm looking forward to seeing Sinead Kavanaugh versus Leah McCourt. I want to see that one. I'm looking forward to that fight right there, and that's on the main card.
I'm interested to see how Sinead Kavanaugh and Pierre Quilley do, considering both fighters are from Ireland. They're fighting. This fight's in Dublin, this card, and they're both from Ireland, and they both lost championship fights. Quilley lost the lightweight title fight to Patricky Pitbull in Ireland, in Dublin too. So, and then you got Kavanaugh, who lost to Cyborg in her last fight. Interesting to see how both fighters rebound from championship losses. And I know the crowd's gonna be definitely into these two fights and the main event. The Irish crowd, especially when you get an Irish fighter who's in a prominent position, they really show out. They're really pretty great too, those Irish crowds.
Oh yeah, they love being in the MMA. They really do. Another fighter. I just saw this name. I remembered it now. Jornel Lugo. I gotta see him. He's a featherweight fighting right before Sinead Kavanaugh. He's gonna fight Brian Moore. I remember what Jornel did to Keith Lee. And that was Kevin Lee's brother. I remember what he did. Just straight up dominated. Yes. And we haven't seen him since. I want to see Jornel Lugo.
That's right. It was Lugo who dominated Keith Lee. That's right. I was wondering who that was. That I forgot that who was the fighter that dominated Kevin Lee's brother. But okay. Yeah, I want to see. I want to see how he does against Brian Moore and see if he can stay undefeated, because Lugo is 7-0 at the moment.
Most definitely.
And this card's taking place on Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. You know, the main card, I believe, considering they are in Ireland, so they have the 5-hour difference.
Okay.
5 or 4 hour, because I know England's 5 hours ahead of us on the East Coast, but I'm not sure about Ireland. It might be 4 or 5.
It may be. I mean, they have the way they have it Friday at well, I think the preliminaries are gonna start at 2 p.m.
Okay.
So yeah, you're right. It's gonna start at 4 because it's a lot of preliminary fights. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bellator isn't like UFC. If you want to see their preliminaries, they have them for free, accessible to you all on YouTube. Just look up Bellator on YouTube, add them, and they always have the preliminaries for free on YouTube, so you can watch those. If you guys ever want to, just hit me up on Twitter or anything, we could watch it together and we chat back and forth. I'll do a personal watch along with you guys, and we could talk about what's going on in the fight. So I'll be looking forward to that one.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this card. Like I said, 4 p.m. starts Eastern time, because like I said, in Ireland they're ahead of us by several hours. But yeah, like I said, anyway, we can move on and talk about the UFC, which is it's next Saturday the 25th on ESPN Plus. Start time, I believe it's 7 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, main card 7, and the main event of that card is Islam Makhachev versus Bobby Green, who's stepping in for Beneil Dariush after Dariush had injured his ankle a couple of days ago. Yeah, it's like almost
broken
a week
fibula
ago.
a couple of days ago. Yeah, almost a week ago. Broken fibula. Yep.
Yes, and and Bobby Green, this is a big opportunity. He just fought 2 weeks ago on the UFC 271 and won his fight against Hazrat Nazareth. And he looked good, but he could have done more, as you and I both mentioned. He was doing well, but could have done more in that fight. And he's going to need to do a lot more going against Islam Makhachev, or Makhachev, as they say over there. Considering Islam is probably the most dangerous and the lightweight, one of the most dangerous lightweights in the world. And he's on a 9-fight winning streak. And he's a guy that it's right there. I mean, if he dominates Bobby Green, it'd be hard to deny Islam the winner of Justin Gaethje and Charles Oliveira in May. And for Bobby Green, he's gonna have to. We're gonna see how good is his wrestling defense, how good is he getting off his back, and also can he sprawl and stuff takedowns. Because if you're Islam, I feel like Islam's gonna do a lot of grappling in this fight. Just as me personally, Islam can strike. I mean, he's a pretty good striker. So maybe you might want to strike with him just to mix it up, throw Bobby Green off. But if you're Bobby Green, the main thing is how is he going to do against his wrestling defense and gain enough takedowns. Personally, I feel like that's the number one thing that I'm kind of the big question for me going into this fight is that. Well, I mean, what about you? What do you think about this fight? And what do you see?
I'm about to say something. It sounds a bit dismissive, but I think this was bigger picture for Bobby Green. I don't see Bobby Green winning this fight at all. That amount of skill set that he provided against Nasrat, that won't fly against Islam Makhachev. And I think Islam Makhachev is going to really hurt Bobby Green. If Bobby Green isn't smart and careful, he could end up on the sideline for a while. Doesn't mean, though, this isn't a good fight for Bobby Green. And what I mean by that is for him to take this fight short notice, He's coming in, to be the main event. It does him favors as far as in the business aspect. So even if he is sidelined, regardless, the UFC called on him for a favor. He did them a favor. He could call a shot now. He could call a favor upon the UFC. I think that's why Bobby Green is doing this. And if he happens to win, it'll be, gold galore for him and all that. But he doesn't have, to me personally, he ain't got a chance against Islam Makhachev.
No, I don't think so either, personally. I mean, as I know, with MMA, anything can happen. We've seen upsets, but I don't know if this is the one. This will be shocking. This will be one of the bigger upsets in recent MMA history. He can pull off the upset against Islam, considering how well Islam's been doing. Islam has one loss, too.
Yeah. This would be a huge upset. This might be a bigger upset than Nunes versus Pena.
Maybe, yeah. I think so, yeah, because
depending on the money line. Depending on the money line. It is, yeah, you're right. It is short notice. I believe this isn't being done at lightweight. This is catch weight. So I'm guessing Bobby Green didn't stay, in fighting shape throughout until he called in for that fight. So he's gonna run a short camp. But
160 fights taking place. The weight.
Yeah, this is catch weight. So I know this is hey, if Bobby Green makes me eat my words, man, I'll eat them, but I don't see him having a chance right now. And if the money line, develops, then we'll see it be a lopsided money line. But yeah, brother, I ain't got Bobby Green taking this one.
Me either. No, I don't. But yeah, this is a good experience for him considering he's fighting his main event, and I don't blame him fighting a main event and try to pull an upset against the number 4 ranked lightweight. I mean, he can pull it off, and he puts him in the rankings and does a lot for his career. But you gotta take a gamble, so might as well just do it. Especially since
if
he's
it's
in decent shape.
See, funny enough though, because it's at catchweight, even if he won, I don't think they'd put Islam, or they wouldn't knock Islam down. I think it just propelled Bobby Green into the rankings. And looking at the rankings right now, the name that might be most susceptible to getting knocked out of the ranking is between Diego Ferreira and Brad Riddell.
Probably Ferreira, but I see what you mean. Yeah, definitely an interesting main event. Can't wait to see. I like seeing Islam fight, so I'm definitely gonna watch. So definitely excited, and I'm excited to see how this. It's unique to see. I'm intrigued to see how this Bobby Green matchup plays out. See what happens and how long it is. If it goes decision or is it finish? Like I said, we'll wait Saturday night. We'll find out.
Most definitely. But we can look also at this next fight on the card. I'm not gonna lie to you, Austin. I have rooting interest here.
Go ahead.
Misha Cirkunov versus Wellington Turman. I'm rooting for Wellington Turman here. I'm sorry. I don't have a breakdown for this. I just know Wellington Turman handled Sam Alvey last fight I saw him in, and Sam Alvey has been begging for chances since. Wellington Turman fought a great fight. Striking, wrestling defense was there. He kind of initiated some grappling here and there sometimes, but all in all, I thought that Wellington Turman fought the perfect fight, and Sam Alvey just didn't know what to do with him. I'm looking forward to seeing Wellington Turman fight some more.
I think Wellington might win this fight personally, because Misha Cirkunov is fighting at middleweight, again, which, I mean, I don't know why he's fighting middleweight, because I thought the weight cut didn't do any favors against Joko back, when they fought his middleweight debut. But maybe I could be wrong. Maybe Misha he's figured out the weight cut. He's figured out the weight cut, the weight cut and everything. The way now he's able to perform well on middleweights. But I don't think so. I mean, considering he is 37 and he's going down, weight class this late in the game against a natural middleweight in Turman. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe Misha is able to pull off the victory, but it seems like this is a setup for Turman to get a big victory for him. So this was the biggest victory of his career, going against a guy who was, in the rankings at light heavyweight, like the top 15, like lower 10. like 10-8, 10-8 at range in rankings
Most
for a good
definitely.
chunk.
Most definitely, and not only that, but this is while he's the co-main event, so it really helps him out. It really does.
Yep.
With that being said, though, I want to move on right into the next fight. This one too, man. I have a bit of I may have some rooting interest in this one. Priscila Cachoeira versus Yeon Kim. Last time I saw Yeon Kim, she fought a good fight. I believe it was against Erin Blanchfield that she fought.
Molly McCann.
Oh, Molly McCann. She fought a good fight against Molly McCann. It's just that Molly McCann, she had a power. Is meatball Molly, man. She had a power about it that really couldn't do anything about it. But Yeon Kim, I think all in all, she fought a good fight. She just couldn't withstand that power that Molly McCann had. So I think Yeon Kim, if she comes here with the fundamentals sharpened up some more, she could dance around this fight potentially, and I'd see her getting this victory. The last fight she showed, man, it was all right there. Everything was right there. She just couldn't withstand that power, and maybe she doesn't. Instead of taking those hits, you slip those punches. Maybe you're baiting your next opponent more. So now they're running their gas tank, and you can kind of dance around and have that beautiful footwork that you have. But yeah, I'm hoping for Yeon Kim to win this one.
Yeah, she's gonna need to dodge some punches, head movement and stuff. Because Priscila Cachoeira, her last 2 victories are by KO and TKO. Although she lost her last fight to Jillian Robinson back in December. But she's got 6 knockout TKOs and of her 10 victories in the rest of her decision. So she's got power. If she doesn't finish you, she wins by decision. So if you're Yeon Kim, you don't want to get a hit. End up have the same thing happen to you happening against Molly McCann. You get hit with too many power punches. Just get boom. Just get hit with power punches to where you can't do anything substantial to take the fight over.
Ooh, you absolutely right about that. You are. I have no disagreement with you. I see the next fight on this card, and I want to delve right.
Yes, let's go.
Oh, Arman Tsarukyan versus Joel Alvarez in the lightweight division. You tell me, man. What do you see other than pure violence?
I see a finish. Because Joel Alvarez with 19 victories, 16 of them are by submission. Although his last fight he won by TKO versus Thiago Moises, but Joel Alvarez missed weight. That was the thing about that fight. That hurt it. He missed weight, like a couple pounds. Me personally, I said then I think he should be a welterweight. Personally, I think he's too big for lightweights. One thing I don't like is super big guys fighting for the weight class. I don't know. That always bothered me more than guys take PEDs. But that's I can explain that for another time. Explain my feeling about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time, but I definitely agree and understand with why you feel that way. We'll talk about that another time, but hopefully Joel Alvarez can make weight for this fight, man. This goes into a finish. Arman Tsarukyan, he's a finisher too. 17-2 record. This is gonna be really, really good, man.
Yes, it is going to be good. In his last 4 victories, Alvarez, he has 4 finishes, 2 TKO victories and 2 submission victories. So like the submission game is definitely favors Alvarez likes to submit a lot of his opponents, so I think he might have an advantage there. No, he will have an advantage. But Arman Tsarukyan, like I said, is ranked number 13. He's got about 11 of his 17 victories, are finishes. So that's why I think someone's getting finished in this fight. And Tsarukyan, like his last loss is to Islam Makhachev, and since then he's won 4 in a row, and he's 17-2. So you know how good Arman Tsarukyan is, and it feels like he wants that Islam rematch because he feels like he can probably beat him this time. I mean, I think Arman Tsarukyan is really talented. I really think he has the chance to be a title contender by the end of next year. Personally, I mean, I think he's really good. And even that Islam fight, Islam didn't dominate him. He gave Islam some problems. Even took Islam down.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, we know how good Armen Tsarukyan is, so he's legit. He's a guy that definitely
he's definitely legit. Definitely legit. Not only that, but out of everyone, man, he's the one guy that fought Islam, and he's calling for that rematch. Like you said, he is the one guy calling for that rematch. So if you're crazy like that, I'm with you. I'm here to watch it. And this Joel Alvarez, this is slowly becoming one of Jedi's favorite fan favorites right there. He loved watching Joel Alvarez fighting. So we all three are looking forward to this, man.
Yes,
this is going to be a good one.
Especially if Arman wins, it could be the continuation of what I like to call the Eastern European take over the lightweight division. If you got, Islam from Russia, you got Tsarukyans from Georgia, the country, although he's ethnically Russian and naturally Russian. I think he moved to Russia, but and then you have Rafael Vizev, who's from I forget where he's from. It's not Dagestan, but definitely Russia. I know that Russia, like former Soviet republics. And it's another guy in that lightweight division that's like ranked, that's like, or a contender that's like from Eastern Europe. So we shall see.
We definitely will see. I want to move right into this the first fight of the main card. Gregory Rodrigues versus Armen Petrosyan. You got to tell me, man, what do you see out of this fight? Because I think they made a mishap right here on this fight.
Really? Because I'm not too familiar with these guys. Like, what would the mishap be in your opinion?
That's exactly it. The mishap is putting these two guys as part of the main card.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think it's kind of surprising these two guys in the main card, especially if you consider that the prelims does have Terence Mckenney, who's someone who's fought in the UFC several times. MMA fans are familiar with him. I'm familiar. We're familiar with him. I thought maybe he should be in the main card. I would think.
Just looking right under it, there's a fight. I think the main fight for the preliminary card, that should have been the first fight here. Ignacio Bahamondes. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Yes.
Specialty highlight knockout of the year last year. It was a kick, right?
Yeah, it was spinning kick. I forget how it was. It was in third round. It was a contender for knockout of the year. It was definitely in that conversation. I mean, he's the first. I know he's the first Chilean UFC fighter, and first one to get a victory. So that's
yes. And it was that one is. But then you have him versus Zhu Rong, and I know Zhu Rong has been lighting up the lightweight for a while. He just recently made a name for himself, so I don't know how this fight doesn't end up in the he just defeated Brandon Jenkins. I know he lost to Rodrigo Vargas, but besides that, that Brandon Jenkins victory was really good, and I thought this fight should have at least been the first fight on the main card.
Yeah, I agree. It should have. The Bahamondes or Rogzu fights probably should have been the main card, or the Terence Mckenney against.
If anything, for ZM, I think that one is. Those two names have more star power, so those two should have also been in there. But all in all, man, you guys are hearing it. We're talking about some of these fights on the preliminaries. Terence Mckenney versus Fares ZM. That's gonna be something good. I think that'll be really good. Ignacio Bahamondes versus Zhu Rong. I think that's going to be really, really good. Something to keep your eyes peeled out for. And I think Josanne Nunez versus Ramona Pascual. I think that one's gonna surprise us as well. Because I believe this fight between the women are either. I think this is going to be in a bantamweight division. So
which one? The Hannah Goldie against
Josanne Nunez versus Ramona Pascual.
Oh, shoot, hang on. I'm not sure what. Give me a moment. I'm not sure what weight class it is.
It's fine. But right now, either Josanne is moving down or Ramona's moving up. This shouldn't be at a catch weight though.
It's bantamweight.
Bantamweight, like I thought so. It's bantamweight, so I'm gonna be interested in that one as well because, to me, I think Josanne Nunez, she looks like a Muay Thai fighter. Looks like someone that's going to get some knockouts.
Yeah, well, yeah, Muay Thai fighters tend to get knockouts. So if you're, I expect knockouts from a Muay Thai based fighter.
Oh yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to that one. But is there any other fight that you see on the card that you're really looking forward to, Austin?
No, I think you already said the fights. You know, honestly, the main event for obvious reasons between Islam Makhachev and Bobby Green, and Arman Tsarukyan and Joel Alvarez. I mean, that's gonna be a pretty damn good lightweight fight. And then I want to see Bahamondes against Rongju in the lightweight division. All lightweight fights, by the way, I just mentioned all of them in the lightweight division. So,
but see, funny enough, there's a common, with two of those, there's a common thread there. With Zhu Rong and Joel Alvarez, those two, the last time they had impressive outings, but neither of them made weight.
Yeah, we gotta see them make weight first. Yeah,
gotta make weight.
Hopefully, it doesn't become a problem where they're forced to move up in weight class. Oh, I think Alvarez should personally, but yeah, that's another story. Explain my feelings about that. But I'm excited.
I'm excited too, man. This fight card. I'm not even like looking at it now, and this looks like some fights are gonna they're gonna end in finishes.
I think so too.
And I think there might be a potential contender for a knockout of the year on this card, somewhere on this card.
Oh wow! Okay, I see.
I'm calling it now.
Hopefully you're right. Hope so.
Yeah,
but that being said, go ahead.
Nah, go ahead.
Yeah, that being said, I don't think there's anything else that's coming up this week. I don't think there's any big MMA news that's happened since the last show.
Not that I've heard of. If there's any news that we may come upon, maybe a rumored fight that could be very, very interesting, that we have the date of or something like that, we'll definitely talk about it and everything. But to my knowledge, I haven't had any news yet. The latest news I've got is a 24-minute video from Chael Sonnen answering the question, is a hot dog a sandwich? I'll get into that soon.
That question, yes.
Yeah, Chef Dan will definitely answer that question.
Yes, shout out to Uncle Chael, but but anyway, I think that's gonna be it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching us this week. Don't forget to share, like the video. Like the video if you're watching this, and give us a review if you're listening to us on audio platforms, whether it be Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, Reason FM, etc. If we're a platform that lets you leave reviews, definitely don't forget to review us. And thank you guys for enjoying us and watching and listening to us. Look forward to doing this show next week, breaking down what happened this past week, and then of course breaking down the big UFC pay-per-view with Covington and Masvidal, which can't wait for that card. But once we get through this weekend first and see these fights, especially the Islam Makhachev and Bobby Green, and of course the Bellator, the title fight to Yeon Musasi and Austin Vanderford. Can't wait to see those fights. And we'll be here to break it down next week. For Austin and for Chef Dan, I'm Austin, and thank you guys for watching and tuning into us. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are